Poetry is often a chronicle of falls and failings. In its truths, it is a mirror. It's for you to be self-aware enough to recognize yourself, or to again hide in the comfort of a life which is a lie. This is Sunil Bhandari, and you are listening to Uncut Poetry. The sound of a man falling. I reach the summit, not inch by inch. No, I arrive in a flood. Talent spills out of me. Love follows, tidal and unquestioning. Directors orbit me like obedient moons. They cannot imagine a world without my sound. I do not merely compose music. I alter its grammar. I am told I am a miracle. I began to agree. This is where it breaks. Because admiration, once mistaken for destiny, hardens into entitlement. I begin to believe the applause is owed, not earned. That the place I clawed my way to is permanent, immune to taste, time or doubt. I convince myself I can offer anything at all, and the world must bow and call it genius. If it doesn't, the fault lies with the world. They don't understand music. They don't understand me. Power arrives quietly. I let it. I summon directors and leave them waiting in the dark, hours stretching thin, just to feel my own gravity. I choose sacred backdrops for first meetings, mistaking symbolism for sanctity. I give indifferent music to a good film and dismiss its failure as divisive, because nothing I touch is allowed to be mediocre, only misunderstood. Lines I never meant to draw begin to appear everywhere. Faith, identity, difference, these become instruments to played without care. When someone enters my home carrying another god, another grammar of devotion, the air tightens. Symbols are stripped, not violently but casually, as if it is obvious, as if it is necessary, as if genius grants permission. My arrogance is no longer an accident. It is deliberate, curated, non-negotiable. I do not spare those who built me, the directors who trusted me when I was still a question mark, the collaborators who believed music was a conversation, not a sermon. One by one, they drift away, not in protest, but in fatigue. Projects thin out, invitations dry up. And the music, the music. It stumbles, it repeats itself, it loses hunger. But how would I know? I'm sealed inside a fog of my own praise, mausoleum of old triumphs. Self-awareness was buried years ago, quietly, without ceremony. So when the world starts turning elsewhere towards younger, leaner, less reverential talent, I'm stunned, betrayed. How dare they move on from me? Then comes the mirror. I choose because it flatters my wounds. The foreign interview, the sympathetic gaze, the easy narrative. I explain my fading relevance with a single convenient sentence. It isn't decline, it's persecution, not exhaustion, but exclusion. The industry, I say, is communal. I'm being punished for who I am. I believe this because it costs me nothing. It asks nothing of my craft, my humility, my failures. And even when someone who has known me, who has admired me, looks at me and says almost gently, almost in disbelief, "My God, I never even realized you were Muslim," the truth still does not land. Because by then, I'm too deep inside my grievance to hear anything else. I mistake isolation for martyrdom. I retreat into the smallest room imaginable, the ghetto of my own frustration. Religion, the last refuge of the unimaginative and the cornered, becomes my alibi. What I do not see, what I may never see, is the scale of the loss. The hearts that once beat in time with my music and now feel nothing. The silence in concert halls where tickets were bought with devotion and abandoned with disappointment. The audience that did not turn hostile. They simply stopped coming. That is the true heartbreak. Not that I fell, but that I never understood why. This is Sunil Bhandari and you are listening to Uncut Poetry. If you enjoyed this poem, rate it on Spotify or leave a comment on Apple Podcast. And I have a lovely newsletter called The Uncuts, which is like a Sunday dollop of warmth and fun and beauty. Subscribe to it. The link is in the show notes. And if you loved this episode, please do share it with someone you love. See you next week.